I don't know if you've noticed, but I changed my profile icon. I figured it was about time to try something new. For this profile picture, I also used a text wrap. I'll show you how I did it in this video. I'm going to start out by dividing this document into two parts. And the way I'm going to do that is to go up to View and go to View Mode rather, and go down here to Split View, and that will split the document in half. Now I want the left side to be smaller because all I'm really going to put in there is my icon photo, because I want to use it as a comparison for what I'm going to do on this side for the text wrap. So I'll go up to File and Place and look for my profile icon, which is this one right here. This one is the one that's on my social media things, my Instagram and my YouTube and all that right now. So I'll just draw it in and put it in there. All we need it for is for a reference point. Then I'm going to bring in the picture without any text wrap around it. So this is the picture right here. I'm going to move this picture over to the side, maybe make it a little smaller. Then I need to draw a circle around it, just like this one over here. So I'm going to select the ellipse tool, and with the Shift key held down, I'm going to draw an ellipse around our picture, and I'm going to need to give it a fill of nothing because we want to be able to see our lady. She really doesn't look that much like me, except she has blue eyes and glasses, but that's about it. And then arrange this circle to where it's kind of sort of centered. I have snapping turned on, but it really doesn't. I mean, I think it's centering her eyebrows, but I'm just going to move it around, and oh, that needs to be kind of like that. And then once I get it the way I want it, I think I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. I am going to put an outline so that we can see it. Right now it's got a black outline, but I don't want that. I want an outline that's similar to this one. So in order to get that, I'm going to go over here and just take a sample and then go up to stroke and make it a little wider until I can, well, not that wide, so I can see it. So this is going to be my reference point for the text. I'm going to make this a little bit wider. So much for keeping this circular, like that, and then center it sort of like that. Now, before I get started putting the text in here, I need to make a copy of this. And so I'm going to go Control J, and you'll see why in a minute that I have to do that once we get the text out there. And I'll just move it over there so we can just have our copy. And then I'm going to go over here to the, remember to select your circle here, there. I don't know why I'm so picky. We can always alter it later on, but anyway. So we're going to go over here to the Artistic Text tool, and once we select the Artistic Text tool, make sure our ellipse is selected. I just unselected it. There we go. Notice how it has crosshairs with a letter, the letter A. We need to make sure that our ellipse around our little lady here is selected, and then we're going to move the text down until we get a little squiggle. See that little squiggle with the T? Right now it's telling you that I'm going to be typing in text on the outside of the circle, but I don't want to do that. So I'm going to keep moving it until I get inside of the circle, and make sure that you still have the squiggle, and then I'm going to click on it, and then you're going to get our cursor, and then I'll just type in my text. and make sure I didn't misspell anything. Now, this isn't on the top, but that's okay because right here you've got these two stops. You've got the beginning stop and you've got the ending stop. We can keep on typing until we type all the way around, so if I wanted to type lifelong learner again, I could do that. Once our typing gets to where it hits the red stop, it's going to make another line. But we don't have to worry about that yet. But what I need to do is to move it so that it moves around and we get it to where it's on top of our circle. Now, if you'll notice, our circle has vanished. So we just have the guide and we've got our copy over here. So I need that so that I can move the circle back on. Basically, all this circle is doing for me now is to guide me on the text. So I'm going to I'm going to select our text, and then I'm going to do some kind of text. I forgot what I did on the last one, so I'm just going to select Algerian. That's pretty enough. And then I'm going to select, make it a little bit bigger, and select like a 14-point font. It's, whatever you want to do. Now notice when I made it bigger, it uncentered it, so we're going to have to move this back around until we get there. And then what we can do is once we have everything centered, this stop right here is going to be moved right there, and we have our text in between the green and the red stops. So if we type any more and it goes past the stop, it's just going to start making another line. Okay, now I am going to go over to color just to keep this consistent and then make it the same color as this over here. So I'm going to go over and select a color, and that will make this, well, not that color, that's okay, I should have selected that. Well, I already did anyway. And I'm going to make it the same color as this over here. So now we have this typed in. Okay, so now what I want to do is to type in the lifelong learner text down at the bottom. You can either retype it or you can just copy this. So if you make another copy and go Control J, you'll end up with a copy that you can move down and all you have to do is to flip it like that. So all I really did was I hit flip horizontal, because if you don't flip horizontal, it's going to be backwards. And then I flipped vertical, and I got this down here. So now we need to change our color of our text. So using the color picker tool, I'll go down here and make this blue. Okay. Now, once we have the text in there, it's going to need to have the circle around it. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to choose the ellipse and then drag it to where it's over the text and then adjust it to where it fits. So there we go. I adjust it to where it fits and use my keys to put it in there. And now we have this text and this text like that. Let's group all this stuff into a group so I can get it out of the way. Now let's say you don't want to have circular text. You can make any kind of, and I don't want to do that. I'll just move this out of the way. You can make any kind of shaped text you want just by selecting the pen tool and then just drawing yourself a curved line like that. all the way around. So there's our line. So you can draw any kind of line that you want. Let's get out of the pen tool. And so now that we have our line, all we need to do is to go over here to the Artistic Text tool again, select it, and make sure that that curve is selected. You'll find that it doesn't matter that I have a stroke thickness on it at all. So let's just put our cursor right there and then just type in curved line and see how it's curving along with our line. So if we get out of that, then we can change the shape. Well, let's take a look. So see, there's our curved line, and we can change the shape of it just by pulling on this and changing the line like that. So you can type in your text and then change it like this and make any kind of curve that you want. Make it steeper, longer, or bigger, like that. So you can plan out what kind of a line that you want or what kind of a curve that you want your text to be on, and then draw out that line with the pen tool, or use any of the other shapes that are in the Shapes panel. And once you select that, go into the Artistic Text tool and roll over it until you get the little squiggle, and then just type in whatever you want, and then click out of it, and you can see what your curved text looks like. I hope you can make use of this lettering feature for whatever designs you want to create. And remember to like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell to keep up to date on future videos. Visit my Buy Me a Coffee webpage to check out my future posts.